sketchbook tour is of a sketchbook I made. I used the Coptic stitch binding, and it started in December of 2008, and I finished it in October of 2009. Just sketching, was working on stuff. So ideas for Christmas card. This was when I was still an architect, so I obviously was also thinking about floor plans of some sort, some pencil sketches on the National Mall, some more pencil sketches at the National Mall, hand, playing with hatch, egg, bunch of gesture drawings, more gesture drawings. These were 1-minute contours. Obviously, I got really absorbed into his face. More. Okay, these were 2-minute contours, a 5-minute pose, probably another 5-minute because it's not labeled, a 15-minute pose, and another 15. And I thought this was interesting. So when I was looking at it, I used to use my open life sessions to really push myself to get good at drawing. And so I would do the drawing, and then when the model was taking a break or whatever, I would then analyze. And one of the things, like, for example, my negative space there was correct, and negative space was, proportions are correct. But my foreshortening, something was wrong with that arm. I think actually probably, I bet my negative space wasn't exactly quite. But the forearm was too long. The leg got too long right there. The torso got elongated. And then like that was the area that I couldn't see for some reason. But that helped me. I would then like assess and see where I was. And then the same went for this 15-minute drawing. I drew it, and then I identified where I had gotten off on my measurements. And I identified that it was this area that got too wide. And then here we go. I did this one, and then I'd be like, head is too big, neck is too thick, but how it connects with shoulder, because how it connects with shoulders is incorrect. Shoulder width is too wide, making torso too wide. So everything just got too wide. Some sketches. Let's see, lines controlled by, that's interesting. This one was an exercise of lines controlled by hand and wrist, those. And then these, I worked on controlling my drawing by keeping my wrist straight, but moving my arm, because that is one of the best ways you can change up your drawing by, you rely on your hands and wrist to create your curves, or can you make curves using your arm as you're controlling? Forgotten about that, but that's really helpful. Okay, here's a 15-minute, and obviously I'm looking at his head looks a little bit too small, but I think obviously I was a little bit happier with that one because I didn't have any notations on it. Some different types of hatching and sketching at the National Mall for the Folklife Festival. That was I think that was a Sunday that I went down to the mall to go to the museums, but got there early. Some open life drawing, some gesture work, just more gesture work, more 1-minute gestures. This was a 10-minute pose. 10-minute pose. 10 minutes. I guess I just focused on her feet, and I guess used some of that time to think up. I guess when was this? May have been, that looks like a peony bud. So I must have been in the springtime. Now, these were 45-minute sketches, or that was a 30-minute, and this is a 45-minute. Now, one of the things I now learned, and it was one of these sketchbooks that taught me that whenever I have this much play in my pencils and my sketchbook paper, not to use pencil, because it rubs off. I don't like that. Because see, look, there's not much play, so it doesn't rub off. Looks like some gesture sketches of people in the National Mall, drawing some hands had to have been at a meeting. I was sitting behind someone in a meeting. Some notes that I took. Okay, some daily painting composition ideas, playing with the idea of understanding the skeleton, pelvis, rib cage, and how the joints and the shoulder girdles hang. Still play with that. Doing some eye exercise, hand, some gesture, a little bit more controlled, and a bunch more eye drawings. Don't know where. So, this is interesting. So, I was stuck at the Minneapolis airport, and I was copying facial features out of a September Bazaar magazine. So I guess I was looking at different people's eyes and facial features and out of the Harper's Bazaar magazine. Okay, let's see. Some notes I took. Things about composition. Thinking about compositional thumbnails about things. Okay, some more 5-minute open life drawing. Looks like they're not labeled, so they're probably 5-minute too. 5-minute, thinking about light and shade. 1 minute, where I really was only trying to figure out the angle of the hip, the angle of the shoulder girdle and chest, and how does that affect. 2-minute sketches, 2-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, I guess 10 minutes. I may have gotten bored and started that. And then there's me playing with hatches. If I don't have much time, but I want to get a little bit of drawing in, I always hatch. Me practice 10-minute. And then I essentially hatched all over it to play around with hatch marks. Again, 10-minute and a 30-minute. And I was using, I remember this and how it goes down. I was using my fountain pen. Got smaller as I went down the body. So like big, and then I essentially shrunk it so it would fit on my paper. Let's see. Some 1-minute gesture and blocking in, thinking about like the George Bridgman life drawing lessons in his book. This looks like 2-minute contour. That's not contour, but then I decided to do contour for those 3 2-minute, 2-minute gesture and block in, 5-minute, and then 10-minute each using my fountain pen. This is a 30-minute. This may have been another 10-minute, and I got bored or whatever, and then just did a whole bunch of hatching. 20-minute. Again, really working on the light and shade. Some 5-minute at the open life. And that's it. It's the end of that sketchbook. Oh, yep. I haven't made a sketchbook for myself in a long time. I like just buying them now. But this was a really fun one it was a fun experiment. Well, thank you so much for watching my sketchbook tour.